Hello and welcome to Come and Dine. I hope this joke kind of cheer your day up or brighten it up. But here it goes. There's this fella. He was out driving his car late in the evening, and it broke down near a monastery. One of the monks came out and they looked at the car and they said, "Well, so we can fix your car, but you're gonna have to stay overnight." So they fed him supper and they fixed his car and they gave him a place to sleep. And he awoke that morning to this strange sound. And of course, he went to the head monk and he says, "Sir, so I thank you for fixing my car and feeding me." He says, "But I want to ask you something." He says, "What was that strange sound I heard this morning?" And the head monk says, "Sorry, I can't tell you. You're not a monk." And so he gave no thought about it. And 2 years later, the same thing happened. His car broke down near the monastery, the very monastery that he broke down 2 years ago. And of course, the monks came out there and they said, "Well, that's going to take us to fix your car overnight." So they provided him food and a place to sleep. And of course, he wakes up to the strange sound that he heard 2 years ago. And of course, he goes up to the head monk. He asked the head monk, he said, "What was that strange sound?" And the head monk says, "Sorry, I can't tell you. You're not a monk." So he gives no more thought about it. And then 3 years later, it happens again. He breaks down near the monastery. Of course, we know the story. And he hears that strange sound again. And then he goes up to the head monk and says, "Sir, I got to know what that sound was." And he says, "Can you tell me what it was, please?" And he says, "Sorry, I can't tell you. You're not a monk." And finally, the fella got fed up. And he says, "What does it take to be a monk?" And the head monk says, "Well, you have to go all over this world and count every blade of grass and every pebble." Well, the fellow says, "I'm going to do it." So it took 25 years for him to count every blade of grass and every pebble. And he came back and he tells the head monk the number, and I want to tell you, it was in the quadrillions and trillions and billions. And he told that head monk the exact number of the blade of grass and the pebble. And the head monk says, "Congratulations, you're a monk." So he takes him over to this wooden door, and he goes to turn it, and it's locked. And the guy's like, "What is this?" And the monk gave him a key, and he unlocks it, and he opens it. But when he opens it, there's a tin door. Of course, it's locked. The monk gives him a key to the tin door. Then there's an aluminum door, a steel door. Then there was a door made of emeralds, rubies. I mean, he's going through all these doors that were locked, and the head monk gives him the key, and he comes up on the silver door, and finally he comes up to the golden door. And the monk says, "This is the last door." And he says, "In behind that door, you're going to find out what that sound was." So the head monk gives him the key to the golden door. He opens it up, and finally, after all these years, he got to find out what that strange sound. I mean, he heard it the first time his car broke down. He heard it the second time his car broke down. He heard it the third time his car broke down. Spent 25 years of his life to find out what that strange sound was. And there it was. But I can't tell you because you're not a monk. Thank you, God bless you, and goodbye.
Come and dine, the Master calleth, come and dine. You may feast at Jesus' table all the